Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Legendary, the podcast where we dive into the stories, strategies, and successes shaping the world of finance, accounting, and beyond. I'm your host, BK, bringing you insightful conversations with the sharpest minds in the industry. Today, we have a truly special guest, someone who embodies expertise, transformation, and a dash of boldness, both in finance and fashion. Joining us is Oxana Josan, a seasoned chartered accountant with 20 years of experience in corporate finance, taxation, and internal controls. From optimizing business processes to leading financial transformations across multiple sectors, especially the aviation industry, she has done it all. But beyond the numbers, she is a force of nature, known for her unapologetic approach to finance, a passion for empowering small and medium businesses, and of course, her signature, red lipstick, a statement as bold as her career. So, Oksana, welcome to our podcast today.
Hello, BK. I'm happy to be here. I'm fine, thank you. And look, I feel so powerful after your introduction. Yeah, did I do it? Really? Was it me? Hello, everyone. And yes, it was me. All that you said, it was done. Actually, it is my story behind my.
And honestly, I am very glad to have you on our podcast today and really fascinated with your story and the insights that we have, discussed in the past. And you are one of the many genuine connections, we have built in our network. And so, yeah, once again, I welcome you on behalf of the Legendary Podcast team and looking forward to a great conversation today. And, I just want to dive in right in to the concept of red lipstick. Like, what's the thought process behind that? I'm very intrigued by that.
Yeah, okay. Definitely, we are all people behind our names and behind our titles and companies. And it's all about branding yourself. And that was always somewhere in my nature. Yeah, I'm really bold, sometimes aggressive. Even I'm passion is definitely something that resonates with me. But the concept itself was picked not without reason. It has behind, psychological patterns of colors, perception, and human behavior. Initially, it came from my kids. To teach kids to speak, you usually put bright red lipstick and focus their attention on your lips so they repeat the sounds, and this is crucial in their development. And eventually it was embedded into my nature and the way I give the information. Because when I started posting on LinkedIn, I was always posting on some really critical moments, errors or mistakes done by business, which I wanted to bring their attention to. I wanted to make it loud. So I decided to call it red lipstick, and I didn't know whether it is going to work or not. After the first post, I got many comments. People were contacting me on WhatsApp saying, come on, it was great idea, really, and asking me questions. Why? Because even in makeup theory, there is this theory that if you want to be heard, if you want to focus attention on yourself, you need to put bright lipstick and actually red color to attract this attention. So definitely it is something that I want to do. I want to be audible. I want them to pay attention on what I say. And eventually I also brought it into my logo and into my dressing. I always try to have an element of red, and it became my brand color in small doses. Yeah, not to look too aggressive.
I mean, this is mind-boggling, the perspective that you have given about red lipstick and the story and the thought process behind that. I mean, that's amazing. And I'm not surprised a lot of people, found a lot of meaning and got connected to you and have exchanged messages around your idea. So love this. absolutely love this idea. But then, having talked about red lipstick and your background into accounting and the country from where you originate, and then now you're working in Dubai, UAE. So how has been the journey? And like 20 years is a long time. So how has been the journey? I'm sure there would have been a lot of ups and downs, family commitments, personal and professional. So how you managed it? I mean, I would love to know about your journey.
Thank you. Yeah, it was quite long journey, and frankly speaking, I didn't plan it a lot. My life was building based on my family connections, first of all, and my life has always in priority my family and kids. So actually, it happened that I started working at 18 years old in my parents' grocery shop in Moldova, back in Moldova. So I was also attending the university and graduating from in finance. Eventually, it happened that I got married, and my husband relocated to UAE. At that time, I had huge experience in accounting, and actually, my life was very settled. I was doing outsourcing back in Moldova, and it was shocking for me that he actually committed for relocation and wanted me also to commute, to move to UAE. Definitely, I was very, very frustrated at that time. And since he was working in aviation, that is how actually I got into this industry. And this industry was always around us and family, these talkings around the table, smoke talks, some jokes with the friends. And it was always there because his parents and his grandparents and all his friends are in aviation. So that is how I got involved into the industry itself, because back in Moldova, there were multiple industry, commerce, services, and so on. When joining UAE, I started working immediately. Like I just landed, and the next day I showed up in the office, and I never stopped working. I never stopped working, and until another family reason popped up in my life, and this reason was a bit different. I decided that I was 30 plus, and I decided that this was great time. And actually, I had to plan my kids. And it was time for motherhood. And it was not that easy. And it turned out that it was another full-time project for me. It was another challenging situation in my life. And but since my priorities are settled properly in my life, and definitely family is the one, I actually had a break in my career. This is one of the issues that we face in women being involved into business or into actually doing career. Since you cannot balance it properly, I needed really to focus. And I had 3 IVFs, and I had 2 miscarriages, and it took me around 2 years. However, I succeeded because I'm very stubborn, and I know what I want, and I focus on what I want, and I succeed. I sacrifice something because I know what is more important. Yesterday I was talking to my father and told him that today I'm recording a podcast, and actually I'm going to speak about myself. And I shared that, I want to share this story of IVF and issues that I face in motherhood. And he was shocked, saying that, no way, it is something that is very personal. You need to keep it hidden. It is just a family story. You should not tell it loud. And I said, no, I have different perception. I think I need to talk about it because, first of all, I'm a woman doing career. I'm a woman in business now. And actually, I'm not the only one. I know it for sure. And there is a lot of statistics there. But who looks into statistics? People look in other people's stories. And if we are talking about ladies in business, and focusing on career, it is very common that at some point they just realize that they maybe lost their chance, or they are about to lose this chance of having kids and being a mother, which is the priority, should be a priority. And maybe my story can help them that no, it's not late. It's never late, actually, almost never. And we need to embrace technologies, which are there in medicine as well, because this is something that changes our life and changes for something better. Yes, there have been a lot of issues coming back to career because my break was 4 years. And definitely I got a lot of questions, how possible maternity 4 months and that's it. Are you still professional? But I have been working for 10 years in accounting. I have reached to senior managerial positions. And I was going on with my continuous development, certifications and studies, even during my pregnancy, during my maternity, because I felt that I want to keep both, to train my brain and be a mother. So I was good enough. And this is something also that should be considered by corporate structures and employers. And I definitely embrace the concept of part-time job for pregnant or mothers, for pregnant ladies or mothers, because sometimes you definitely cannot work full-time, but you want to continue. And this could be an option. And this is what I'm considering and promoting in my business now.
So it's a true tale of like endurance and persistence and not giving up. Like it's very easy to get bogged down with the challenges around, and the way you have, involved yourself in the process and you have come out winning. And now you're already, an entrepreneur, you are leading teams, you're working with global teams, managing complex processes. So, I mean, this story had to come out, and what could be a better platform than our podcast today? So I'm really, happy that you shared your experience, both professional and personal. And I'm sure it's going to, connect with a lot of women out there who are at some point, going through the same phase that you have been in the past. So thank you very much, Oksana, for sharing that. And having said that, you mentioned that you faced a lot of challenges when you were trying to come back into a full-time role. So you have worked with a lot of different companies and different sectors. What are the specific challenges, or or maybe big wins or some setbacks you encountered during that journey?
Okay, let's talk about myself, and actually, I would focus also a bit on women in leadership and profession, because, frankly speaking, again, coming back to my kids and my priorities in life, now I think, is this corporate world, is good enough for my kids? I have 2 girls, twin girls. And I never regretted that I've done it. But now I'm looking on all the situation from another angle. What if, and that is what I can see now in them, they want to be a doctor. Great, I'm happy. If they want to be an actress, awesome, it was my dream. Maybe one of them would like to be a pilot. That would be their dad's dream for sure. And but still, if they want to have families, are they able to have both? Because again, coming a bit of statistics, and especially in aviation, which I was working for so long, and this is a very specific sector, definitely you can understand it. We have around 5% ladies pilots in the world. So we have around 14% ladies in leadership in aviation, in executive positions, and only 6% in CEO or COO positions in the world. So why? what do you think of a woman when you want to characterize her? It's empathy, it's creativity, it is feelings and emotions. Actually, it's recovery, great recovery. And we come to a better stability in women than in men, because by nature, they are built for sustainability, because they need to continue this human being. Their life depends on women. And it is on top of what man has. All those features are there. So bringing all those features will be so beneficial for any business, for any leadership. They can increase communication skills of all that stuff. They would raise trust, right? Because people treat women as being more open for discussion and listening to people around. All these are so important for any business and any leadership. So definitely I would like this to be understandable for men as well. Because when I came to aviation, you can imagine this man world and me. I'm 160 centimeters tall. I don't want to say short. A petite lady coming, and I was working in chartering, in cargo chartering business, and then I was working in MRO business. Coming there were engineers and all the technicians and even directors' position are held by men. And when I joined as an internal control and compliance officer and was performing internal audits, asking them million questions, interviewing and looking into each and every document and trying to find out what's happening, how the processes are built. Definitely, I was not welcomed there. And especially when they know that you do reporting and you report to the board. Of course, it was not something that they liked. But for me, it was a very interesting, even if it was challenging, it is definitely something very interesting. You get so many knowledge. You have so many details. And it is so nice. So eventually, I would say in 1 hour, in 1 year, it turned out that those even directors were calling me managers, and any employee and officer could call me and ask my judgment, ask for my opinion in terms of interrelation of different departments' work, in terms of compliance and internal control. Those meetings when we were brainstorming, because you know how it happens usually. Departments are usually fighting on responsibilities and job duties. And there should be a referee. And there should be a person who finds gaps in any process and tries to fill it with some kind of control in place. So I was that person. And we actually built a very strong team. And even if we started with some fights, because this is part of me, I'm high blood. Eventually, everyone got that it is for the company's sake. It is for everyone's benefit. And I got my position, and I'm in a strong position in the company and authority. Yes, definitely. If it was not me, but it was a man, it would be absolutely different. This is absolute truth. But I'm sure that women are coming stronger and stronger nowadays, and they can do it. And, this also I have discussed with my father. And I was asking him, what is your perception of woman in business, a woman in leadership position? And he told me, actually, I think that a woman shall be something tender and gentle and beautiful like a flower. But in this case, this flower should have a spikes. So it means that it should be a rose, just to word it nicely. It should be definitely a strong lady. But I loved this comparison to a rose. Yes, it should be a rose,
Wow, Sana, I'm already loving this conversation. We are about 10 minutes into our podcast, and I can't imagine what all areas we'll be covering and the insights that you're already sharing. But having said, and having worked for 20 plus years, coming from a completely different culture background and then working in UAE, so there has to be something that's driving you. What's your motivation? What keeps you going?
We always focus on something that we face, right? We face some issues. We face, and in my nature, when I see some problem, I try to resolve this problem. And my motivation is to focus on business problems and resolve those. I have noticed multiple common issues and problems in different companies. And those are like lack of communication. This is a major issue that is, it's present everywhere. It doesn't matter the industry, doesn't matter the scale, doesn't matter the nationality, and so on. Communication issues are there. People are not able to state a task properly, to break down goals properly, and to communicate updates properly. I even had a story that when my general director, he messaged me on a mail asking for something, and the tone was like he expected me to do to predict he would like it to be done. Even let me say that at some point we are able to predict expectations with experience. This is definitely happening, but not always. And I am very honest person and very bold. And I replied him, I'm so sorry. I could not predict because I'm not a telepath. And, I expected some emotions back on this email because definitely it was not that nice and ethical. It was a bad joke, But it doesn't happen often to other managers who are so doubtful on their position and on their value which they bring to the company, that they struggle to share the knowledge, they struggle to do trainings, they struggle to promote, and this struggle is inside because of the fear and insecurity. And this is something that also should be managed in any company. Then I had a situation as well. I was reviewing VAT return before submission. And I have identified a couple of mistakes there. And those mistakes had some repetitive characteristics, And definitely it was easier for me just to fill the return, to fix the mistakes. It could be faster. For sure, it would be faster. But I would never do like this. I have arranged department meeting because you know that we need to communicate again. We need to communicate errors. We need to do trainings. We had a ad hoc meeting immediately, like on Teams, very short, like half an hour, 45 minutes actually it would take. Also, just to discuss an error, to discuss together, because all the staff involved should be aware. And this is actually something that I would also advise to say it loud, not to call person into your office and discuss face to face. Better you go to the office and discuss it in an open space if you have your own office and there is an open space, because you never know who can benefit of this information, of this knowledge that you share nowadays at this moment, so that they can bring more and more value to the company in another way. And there is a legend, because it is not confirmed, that Henry Ford sent for vacation all of his directors at the same time. and he locked them on a cruise boat without connection. And those departments who didn't manage without director lost the director because he was terminated after vacation.
Oh,
Do you understand the concept that director is there to teach, to make them independent, to analyze, to do strategic job, not to do job for their staff? And this was always my philosophy, and I really embedded in my job, in my work. And if we are talking about internal control and compliance, this is all about the culture. It is all about the vision of the management, top management. And you really struggle to be effective in and to bring value in such situations. That's why I'm looking more into small business. I'm looking more into my own business and entrepreneurship, which I'm focusing now on. Yes, I've got this huge experience, which and expertise, and even in those processes and the way that the big companies work and take strategic decisions. And I want to build my own company culture to bring value to my customers with that knowledge in place. I am an accountant, yes, chartered accountant in internal control and taxation. Tell me, please, what kind of urgency can be in this profession? The urgency, I always tell to everyone that we are not surgeons. We are not doctors. There cannot be reasonable urgency in our profession. It can be only bad planning. Bad planning is the matter of any urgency. So when I tried to visit school and attend some family day at school, and I had this in my practice. Yes, I was planning my day in a way that I could attend family day at school. But eventually, I got million calls. I was sitting in the theater watching some concert, and my phone was constantly ringing. Or I had some emails and messages on WhatsApp asking me to reply immediately. Why? Because someone didn't plan their job in time. Someone didn't do their actions in proper way to not to bring to an urgency. So coming to my own business, this is something that I'm working on, bringing value to the business owners who really look for it, who really need it, bringing this top expertise into at a fraction of the price because they cannot afford the same specialists as corporations can. And still to focus on life-work balance for my staff and myself. This is actually because it's all about our life. Actually, we work for life. We don't live for working. So this is something that I think is more potential in entrepreneurship. So this is actually something that motivates me to go into independent journey of own business, outsourcing, consulting, taxation. And actually, I think this is something that, and there is one more thing. You cannot blame here anyone. All depends on you. If you are doing great, you can praise yourself. If you did mistake, it's your mistake. And this is another level of independence, responsibility, and, maturity. I think I have reached this point, hopefully.
yeah. I mean, this is amazing, and kind of points and the insights you have shared are definitely, it only can come through experience. It's not something that I read somewhere and, I can talk about it. It's pure experience that you're bringing to this podcast. So, in today's time, Oksana, not a lot of people are big fans of becoming an accountant. a lot of people, are picking up full-time accountant role as their profession. And then here I have you, who is really passionate about setting up internal controls, empowering the SMBs when it comes to managing their accounting processes and bookkeeping, and, setting up or maybe, completely transforming their financial processes. So what motivates you to keep going in this space, and why did you choose, to be an accountant who can, help businesses to set up these processes?
You know, do you know any person who was dreaming of accounting? I don't know. Have you seen? And I was not the one as well. Actually, I was dreaming to be an actress. But it happened like this. I didn't become an actress because there was not a good school like a university, and I needed to go to Moscow, which was not feasible at that time for my family. So I was picking between finances and law, actually, not accounting. I didn't consider accounting at all. But eventually I decided to go into finance. And because law has a lot of stuff to do with history and dates, which I really hated. And I'm struggling to remember dates. And I was standing in the university to enroll myself, and I was just looking into the right and left, and I picked finances finally because I love money. And I thought, okay, here is the place where I can earn more money. And I went, but it was very good that we could do all the subject during 2 first years, and then we pick a specialization. And actually, even at that point, I picked finances. But as I told you before, my parents had a grocery shop, and they needed someone to do this job. And there was little chance for me to say no, to my parents. And I started doing it. I had great mentor. I didn't graduate yet. I've done some courses, and I started working. It was a general accounting job I was doing all on my own. I'm very happy I had the mentor which I had. I'm very grateful to her. First lesson that she shared with me was to value myself. And this is something that I want to share with everyone now. If you don't value yourself, there is no one else who would do it. People are happy to have something cheap. People are happy to have something free of charge. It is even better. So value yourself, and then they will value that value that you bring to them. And that is how I came into profession. It is considered to be dull and boring, but it's not true. Eventually, when you are working in accounts, it is very challenging. You have a lot of situation to brainstorm, and it is very organized and planned. I am control freak, and I'm quite organized person, except of time management sometimes. Yeah, I'm late sometimes, I need to confess. But in general, I'm perfectionist, and accounting is this kind of job where you can do it all. And this is something that is valuable there. This is something that is expected of you. There are some people who are able to do this job, and others just are not able at all, and nothing to do with it. It's not bad or good. I cannot sing, so I don't sing. I can hear that I sing not nice. My singing is not nice, so I just don't do it. And the same happens with accounting. If you are not born to be an accountant, you cannot do it. This is among the most old professions, the oldest professions, actually. And their double entry is a philosophy, It is not just double entry. This is something that shows you the balance in life, that to get something, you need to give something. If you have an asset, you have a source of gaining this asset. So this double entry is much more beyond accounting, and I felt it, and it incorporates into my nature very organically, And nowadays, with technology, accounting is not that boring anymore because it comes to controls and analysis that you do. It is not about entries. I've started my journey with those spreadsheets. Even before Excel, I was doing my training in the journals, papers, and then Excel sheets. And eventually we came to an era of artificial intelligence, which is scary. However, the potential is great. And this is all about accounting. And if you look into it deeper, if you feel it, you can see that knowing the past is something that makes you able to build the future. And this is all about accounting. None of the business can survive without accounting. Many businesses consider accounting being necessary just for compliance, taxation, compliance, and so on. But this is not true. You need to look into it, definitely. Compliance is a risk for any business. Stability and even operational ability to operate further. But it is something that gives you plenty of information and knowledge about your business to do forecasting, to do planning, budgeting, to spot weak points and address those weak points. And I'm sure that it brings big value. Big value. It is essential for any business. And it is something that we try to share with the business owners. We can work together. And our concept is speaking in a simple way, not to use sophisticated jargon, like not to use accounting terms, to say it very easy, in a proper way, understandable for anyone. Actually, I was doing it even in corporations. And if you think that it is something, definitely, it is another scale. It is another level. But the issues are still the same everywhere. And I had many examples of top managing positions, general directors, not being able to understand balance sheet and P&L. And I was, among the first conversation that we had, I was saying, like, let's fix like this. I am explaining like for a child. If you feel that it's too much, just stop me. If you need extra clarification to be extra explanation, let me know. I don't expect you to be a financial professional. However, yes, we know that on C-level, they are expected to have this knowledge. However, let's be at the same level. I will tailor myself to speak to you easily, simply. So that is actually something that I also like in accounting, that we can explain something to the business owners. There is something that they don't know, and we do. Even if they are arrogant and think they do know everything about their business. And if we are speaking about internal control, it's even more. Because whatever we know there, sometimes they never knew before.
Even the big business owners, keep coming back to us as an accounting professional. They'll always look up to us for sharing something that they don't know, some insights that would, really help them to make the right decision at the right time. So definitely you have that edge, and I can feel that. And also your passion with numbers, and more specifically wanting to empower the SMBs by setting up internal controls. And since you mentioned earlier, you are a big fan of technology, helping them set up the technology and the relevant processes around it, so that their processes is optimized, and they're not at the end of the day looking for numbers which actually doesn't make any sense or they don't understand. So your passion for SMBs and empowering them in terms of accounting and technology is very much visible. And I think that's where your entrepreneurial journey is taking you. That's your passion, I guess. And, you know, uh, uh, definitely SMBs will really benefit from your expertise in that area.
Yeah, sure. Yes, that is true. And I really focus on SMEs because they need it. They need it. They are quick in decision making. They are agile, more agile than their big operations. They are less arrogant, and they are eager to learn. They are happy to have this information, to ask questions and listen to the answers. In small business, to compete with huge corporations, there are only two ways to do it. One is to go into a niche and provide extreme quality. And the second option is to reduce the price to compete without compromising on quality. Definitely, I'm exploring now the best models for small and medium business. It is not said that it happens like this, but this is how I see them to succeed and being able to compete. So, and reducing price with keeping the same quality is a place where we definitely are required to be there and help them eat. Because what does it mean? Reducing cost. It means without quality compromising. It means raising the effectiveness of job done, raising effectiveness of operation. So it is checking and supervision and analyzing the costs and optimizing those costs. I really hate the concept of cost. We need to cut costs. And be sure this is something happening in big corporations as well. And I hate the wording itself. Costs shall not be cut. They should be optimized. They shall be constantly reviewed, and efficiency shall be there. Cutting cost is short-term decision, just to report to the management and stakeholders now that you've done this great. But what consequences you are going to face later? It can be shut down of your business eventually. There is very little focus on reputation. And this is something that is essential for service business itself. I had accounting. First, I had accounting background, and I was head of accounting, head of finance. And how did I reach to internal control itself? It was at some point I felt myself not being an accountant, but being a cleaner. Because upon joining a company, especially in UAE, because here we had very taxation was not there yet when I joined in 2009. And there was very little knowledge about the benefits that accounting can bring to any business in terms of analysis and reporting and control functions and so on. So coming to it was on repetition, I have done it from company to another one. Just joining the company, I have seen duplication in jobs, repetition in jobs done by different people. There was manual job done, manual entries done from. There have been many situations when you were just transferring manually data from one operational software into another operational accounting software, which could have been optimized. That is where I come to optimization. When you automate, when you consolidate, by this you can raise effectiveness. You reduce the errors, manual errors, because come on, human factor is there, it's always there. and you make this reserve for scaling and growth, you can never be effective enough by hiring new people to do manual entries and duplication of transactions from one software into another one, recording the same transactions. It is never effective. It is limited because human capacity is limited and machine capacity, automation capacity is unlimited. You can grow. And when you open a business, most probably you are really looking into growth and you are expecting it to grow. So do wise decision at the very beginning. The basic decisions shall be done properly with a good advice. And we are here to help you with it. That is how, actually, coming back to internal controls, that is how I finally focused not on IFRS and standards, not on reporting itself. I focused on processes. I focused on internal controls. I focused on optimization and raising effectiveness in the business under this understanding of accounting and finances, which tech people, they don't know. And we had a case. We have been certifying our company for ISO with 9001, and actually, you most probably know that it is not a part of accounting job, and actually, accounting department is hardly, almost not involved into this process. But it is from the first glance you can think like this, but eventually, each and every process in the company is leading to assets, leading to profits, leading to costs. It is all about finances. It is all about accounting at the end of the day. So we had consultants on this, and we started building processes, first of all, and then writing down procedures, standard operating procedures. And very simple question was raised. How should our procedure look like? And the consultant, I loved it, and I always repeat it, and I embed it into my day-to-day work, that proper procedure should not be sophisticated. First of all, because people don't like reading long texts. Number one. The second one, it should reflect real process in place. It should be, you should not copy paste. So just make it simple. Make it half page in bullet points with a flow chart, and do it understandable for each and every person who is reading it. Make it easy with content there, because there are some situations and transactions which do not often happen often. And you need to just revise. It happens to everyone, me as well. Sometimes I open the standards. Sometimes I need to revise some procedure. It is normal. You are not a machine. You are not a ChatGPT. So this is something that number one. And then reviewing and control and monitoring is something that people are scared about. But let's be frank and honest. What is the aim of internal control? The aim of internal control is not to penalize. It's not to apply any disciplinary actions towards some stuff. The aim of internal control is to optimize. It is to avoid or address, minimize risks that company can face and safeguard company assets. If this is properly stated, communicated, and embedded in the culture of any company, it makes difference when people understand that controls are set there to prevent some issue. Because when an issue occurs, it's already late, and it is usually a very costly mistake. And if I was not that boring, one more thing that I want to advise to the small businesses is an very simple thing as reconciliation. Okay, maybe you never heard about this word. Forget it now. What does it mean? It is matching your books to any third-party source of information, any other document that you can get. Like you have in your books bank balances, you reconcile it with the bank statement. You have cash in your books and you reconcile it to real cash in your cash box. You have inventory and you reconcile it to the actual stock. And we can talk a lot about effectiveness and or in inventory. And one more thing is that statements of accounts, your customer and vendor statements of account, always reconcile. Don't forget, I can assure you that 80% of the small businesses never do it. I have been doing not only accounting, this is something that we train in-house, our accountants, that it should be mandatory. But they are specialists. They know the concepts, they know the rules, they know the necessity. And I want small business owners, small and medium, to understand why it matters. Because even just review, ask your accountant to share with you on monthly basis all your vendor and customer balance. And I assure you that you will have a lot of questions and doubts. And you will find out that there was a credit note not processed, there was a payment from his personal account not processed, or there was something missing, or actually the deal was cancelled without any document. There are a lot of, and we don't need to name those. Just review and you will see the difference. It really makes a huge difference. And this is something that you can always do. And you need just to understand the importance. I'm talking a lot.
I've never had such a detailed, discussion, or I haven't even read such a detailed, explanation around internal controls and how this is so important for, small and medium businesses. And also you talked a lot about the risk associated with this. And as you rightly mentioned, for a small, medium businesses, there are just so many moving parts in the background. So often these things get, go unnoticed or ignored. But in the longer run, these things, definitely dent the reputation of the businesses and even cause them to, shut down their businesses. So the insights you shared, Oksana, really would help the audience, those are listening to our podcast, and also the small and medium businesses associated with your in your journey, and also with our team working over here. So really, I loved this conversation around the importance of setting up internal controls and processes. Thank you so much for sharing these insights.
I'm sorry for such a long discussion.
No, I think it was needed. It was absolutely needed. And this is something, purely basis of experience you're sharing. So I'm sure, it's going to benefit a lot of people out there, a lot of businesses out there. Having said that, I think it's now time to move to the next section of our podcast, the next exciting section, and probably the last section of our discussion here. And that's the rapid fire round with you that I need to have. And let's make it
something more to add. I'm sorry, I cannot stop myself. I want to tell you something else that still focus on technologies for small businesses. You need it more than the large corporations. Their resources are higher than yours. They are hardly limited. And in your case, they can pay for any mistake they do. They can pay for any inefficiency in the business. And this is not your case. So I encourage to look into technology to sort out these issues, to optimize your recording and bookkeeping, and provide you with checks, results, and analysis for you. This is different world we are living in, and it will save you money, and it will provide you with efficiency that you definitely need to look into. You can survive only if you are efficient. So look into artificial intelligence, look into OCR products and solutions, look into account receivable automation and collections. It is also available on the market. Ask for these solutions. Attend some meetings, some conferences if you can do it. If you can't do it, just follow some influencers in the field, even me, and and ask your accountant. Ask your accountant. Just make them aware that you want to optimize it. You want to use technology because this is something that you can survive with. That is.
Some thanks for bringing up this technology angle. I think technology with solid processes and expert mentorship definitely helps businesses to optimize the process, optimize the cost, not cut the cost, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Oksana, for all the insights that you have shared around the internal controls and especially the risk and the benefits associated with setting up internal controls for small and medium businesses specifically. Having said this, I already mentioned how detailed and discussions we have had in this podcast. Just wanted to make this podcast a little bit more interesting by jumping into a quick rapid fire round with you and getting into some unknown territories which people are not very much aware of about you, and also would love to get your reactions on some funny questions that the team has come up with. So are you ready for that?
Yeah.
All right. If your red lipstick could speak, what would it say about you?
May I take your attention, please? And also, the red signal means stop. So definitely you will get this stop saying nonsense. That'd be nice. So that is something that my red lipstick says. And you need to be ready to lots of no in terms of compliance, of course.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, your theory about red lipstick has completely changed my perception of looking at red lipstick. And when I see red lipstick, I'll just remember your thought process behind it.
Okay, I think I need to register my brand rights on it, on the contract.
Absolutely. Yes, you should. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next one. One thing people assume about accountants that makes you laugh.
Oh, really? They think that we are calculating like calculators and we keep all numbers in mind. It's absolutely not true. If you ask me how much milk costs, I would never say. I have no clue. Yeah.
Right. If you could trade jobs with anyone for a day, who would it be and why?
Okay. As I told you, I wanted to be an actress. So I would love to live one day of Angelina's Jolie life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hope she can hear me and will invite at least to see the filming.
Right. What's your go-to comfort food after a long day of crunching numbers?
Wow, food. Okay, I need to confess, I'm in love with bread. I'm in love with that French baguette, crunchy bread, and bowl of salad. I cannot imagine any evening dinner without salad and bread. And I need to give up on bread, but I struggle a lot. I can't. I love it.
Like, if accounting had a theme song, what would it be?
Ah, team song. Okay, it would be Take Me Away by New Medicine. You definitely need to listen to it because the main thought of it is I need a break from my brain. Yeah. And I have a funny story on me singing, by the way.
Describe your personality using a term, an accounting term.
Irrevocable. You know, there is there is that concept in taxation, irrevocable decision, that selection that you do once and you cannot avoid it. You cannot revoke it. So, as I said, I'm quite stubborn and I'm quite competitive. And if I have something on my mind, I will try actually my best to succeed. Yes, I'm able to give up, but sometimes only. Most probably I will continue. You know, I'm that kind of person who reads books till the end, even if it is boring at the very beginning, and I still wait for something to happen there. Yeah, so I think this is.
What's one thing about aviation finance that absolutely fascinates you?
Innovation. Yeah, it's something different. It's something very specific. And I loved working in aviation. And the thing that there are accruals, the power of accruals and planning. This is something fascinating in aviation industry. Without proper planning, it can be extrapolated to other industries, but this is very specific to aviation because a lot of it is not standardized. It is almost not standardized at all. So if we are talking about maintenance and repair, you never know what kind of defect will be discovered during the maintenance. If we are talking about chartering, you never know when you need an AOG, aircraft on ground, AOG, abbreviation states for, when you need to land, and it can be emergency landing, and it will bring your costs up, definitely. So planning and accruals are really crucial. You can fail without proper planning. And I would say that the planning department in the MRO company, which I have been working tightly with, together with commercial department, because we've been working in a team to be able to estimate the costs of upcoming project and to give quotation. It was done by commercial department, and a lot of planning was there. There is very little bit done from finance side, and mostly we enter into this process on revenue recognition stage and on evaluation of the post production evaluation of the project. So planning is still is very great area for me. Engineering and planning department in this business. Even if I have kind of knowledge and some high level information there, but this is really something. And by the way, they step into artificial intelligence as well, using big data and automating analysis. So there is a lot of, I'm tech fan, as you know. I just repeat it again. Maybe I've done IVF also because I am a tech fan. This could be an issue, the reason.
Right. If you could give your younger self one piece of career advice, what would it be?
Oh, I would give myself, I think, a lot of advices, but still I would repeat my life the same way. But if we talk about career, I would say don't be afraid to be scared, because only psychopaths are not scared. It is absolutely normal to be scared. And smarter you are, more knowledge you have, more scared you are, because you can realize the consequences. You can predict issues. You can say you are able to understand which areas you are weak in, because you are aware of those. And one more, which I try to follow day by day, is keep on smiling. You know, just open your eyes, say hi to this world, say hi to this day, and smile to it. Smile when you are happy. Smile when you are sad. Keep on smiling, because smile is the decision.
Oh, wow. Awesome. I mean, I just loved the quotes that you have been using, and especially this one, smiling is the decision you make. I just loved it. And, going forward, whosoever I interact with, there's something, I will make it a practice to use it and always give you the credit for that.
Thank you. Yeah,
Right.
make it
So,
please.
yeah. Thank you so much, Oksana. We have almost covered all the sections, and you have been amazing. You have been an amazing guest on our podcast. I'm deeply intrigued by the insights you shared, both on the personal and professional front, and also during this rapid fire round, where you emphasized on a lot of uh, your capabilities that you have built over the last 20 years, and also leaving us, with quotes derived from your experiences in the past. So thank you so much for your time, and hoping to have many more such, sessions with you in the future, covering different aspects of your life and experiences. Thank you so
Thank,
much.
thank you very much. It was my pleasure. And I hope it bring some value, which actually I was aiming. Bring value to different people, to entrepreneurs, to women in leadership, and just to any person in any career. That's what I aim. And thank you very much for welcoming me, for having me here today. I am happy to share, happy to share knowledge and my view, even if you don't.
No, definitely. We loved every bit of this conversation. And I'm sure even the people who are listening to this will enjoy our conversation. So once again, thank you, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye bye.